Alrighty guys, so 30 days ago, I had dropped a video explaining what the slope scale setting was meant for when you choose an aim response curve, and I had done one playthrough testing of a recommended aim response curve, linear aim at zero point 0.0 slope scale. Now, if this is your first time watching me, here is a video that talks about the differences between all three response curves so you can kind of get a better understanding of what I'm going to be talking about in this video. Now, originally as a player, I've always played on dynamic. I have been a dynamic player ever since they released the aim response curve options. I like the acceleration it gives with my aim and slowdown points at the end of my aim to kind of give me a tighter feeling of control on my aim assist. It allowed me to play at a less intense pace because of how little I had to maneuver the sticks when moving and aiming. But, as much as this was a pro, it was also a con in my movement and I didn't even realize this. Let me explain. Now, when you are aiming as a dynamic player, the amount of pressure you push on the sticks, it gets artificially accelerated to move faster in game. Now, to keep it simple, if you push 50% on the sticks, the look and aim speed in game will move you at 75%. That's the idea of the acceleration that dynamic gives. Now, the benefit to this mechanic is to give players less stress on needing to push the sticks at the exact amount to get the desired aim speed that they want. So, less pressure on the sticks, less aggressiveness on their thumbs. Now, this creates very flicky controller players because they essentially just need to flick their sticks to get on their targets fast. And when their aim does land on their target, it also artificially slows down more than it normally would when you release the pressure on the sticks, kind of like a handbrake for your aim speed. And this is why some dynamic players will say that aim assist feels stronger on dynamic, because when it handbrakes your aim, it stops you from accidentally overshooting past your targets and leaving that aim assist bubble on the enemy player. Now, all of this seems nice, right? Dynamic should be the go-to for most players, right? Not necessarily. After the testing, the weakness to dynamic is that over time, when you fully get comfortable with dynamic, it is going to be very hard to ever play on other response curves in Call of Duty and possibly any other FPS games that doesn't provide like a dynamic setting but only provides raw mechanical aim response options. Players are going to start to get too comfortable with the artificial speed up and slowdowns that if they ever have to focus their aim and control on the sticks with a one-to-one raw input like linear, it's going to feel really weird for them. It's going to feel odd because they don't know how to have that control. And that's where my journey to linear started. After that one-day testing, I really wanted to see what made linear aim different than dynamic, and if it was more beneficial to move to linear or stay on dynamic. And here's what I concluded with 30 days of playing strictly on linear at a zero point 0.0 slope scale setting. Now again, for those who are watching my videos for the first time, let me just give you a brief explanation of linear. Now, linear is a 1-to-1 ratio to your thumb pressure on your analog stick to the movement and aim speed in game. So that means is if you push 10% on your sticks, rather than artificially speeding up like dynamic, it moves exactly at the same pressure you put on the sticks, 10% speed. So after playing on linear, here are the 3 things I concluded when using this aim response curve. So starting with number 1, you will actually learn to move and aim at higher senses without losing accuracy. I noticed when I switched to linear, things initially felt slower. Without the acceleration from dynamic, I had to fully rely on my raw sense inputs and learning the exact pressure I needed to push with my thumbs on the sticks. I could not move past a certain high sense when I was in dynamic because it would have been too fast for me. Without the acceleration, I upped my senses to keep the aim speed, but learned better thumb control to properly stop the aim speed to land on target, not needing the handbrake of dynamic. And number 2 is you learn to naturally feel the aim assist bubble more accurately. Because linear doesn't slow you down at the end of your aim like dynamic. You had to really learn to feel when aim assist is hooked with your aim. I didn't have to worry about feeling the aim assist pull because dynamic slowed me down when I needed the slowdown. Again, we're relying too much on the mechanics of dynamic rather than learning to feel the aim assist pull myself. And number 3, because everything is at a raw input, learning linear allowed me to be more accurate with my long range accuracy. Playing at a raw input with sense, it really pushed me to have a better feel of the amount of push I needed to place on my aim stick for my long range targets. When you're on dynamic, sometimes the initial speed when you're adjusting your aim to trace a long range player might either have you overshoot or undershoot your targets at distance, because your aim will either be too fast in the beginning or too slow at the end. But with linear, I have complete control of my aim to generate the exact amount of aim movement I need to do to track my targets. So in summarize, guys, for my 30-day experience of playing on linear, I just want to say that for any players out there who are already on linear, I give my hats off to you. Because you guys learn to play and control your aim at a raw input level without the needing of training wheels to speed up or slow down the aim for you. You got accustomed to controlling it yourself at a refined level. I think my only real gripe when you do switch to linear for players out there is just the transitioning phase of feeling for the aim assist bubble and not overshooting your target. But this could just be due to me coming from dynamic and that I haven't learned better control on my aim stick. Now, knowing what I know now and the experience for linear this long, will I make the switch back to dynamic? No. I like the fact that I have better natural control over my aim, and if I need to tweak and make adjustments here and there, it's gonna be an easier transition to because of my new muscle memory with linear.
And that we're gonna end it there, folks. If you guys did enjoy the review, if you guys think about linear and what are your thoughts on it, do you guys prefer linear, do you guys prefer dynamic? Let me know in the comments below. I would love to hear the feedback from both, being a dynamic player myself, going over to linear and how I'm loving it so far. Is there any other players that have done the same thing and they've switched over? Let me know in the comments below. Again, if you did enjoy this content, please drop a like on the video. It helps it tremendously on the algorithm. And if you do enjoy the content overall, please drop a sub to the channel. We'd love to see you for the next video, okay? As always, stay pure, stay noble, and hashtag bring back honest gaming. Later, guys.
Taking Alpha. They're about to break. Give them enough. We're losing Charlie.